Been left behind is author, storyteller, poet, performer, and Toastmaster David Bullock. His speech will be 6 to 8 minutes long.
It was almost 50 years ago, or so it seems, when I had that horrible experience that took away my dreams. It was the blackest of all my days. So thick it kept the morning sunbeams away. I was going to see my gal wearing a smile when I found myself riddled with fear. I was chilled to the core, if possible even more, and I wanted to get out of there. But there was something wrong. It took far too long to turn and run away. It's like I was stuck and I just couldn't get shut with those shoes so solidly stayed. I was caught in such a blur. I was certain I was going to die. My knees trembled and wobbled and shook with fear. I so badly wanted to cry. It made me want to get on my knees. Please, 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 I begged. Then the porch light came on. My fear was gone. Was I just pulling my own leg? There wasn't much wrong. It's just that my imagination had gone on to one of those journeys way out there in space. I was totally lost in the cold morning's frost before I got to my girlfriend's place. We were taking a hike, something I thought she'd like, to go ice climbing upon Bridal Veil Falls. There was a grave danger to a total stranger of those glistening, icy slick walls. We walked to my car, and the drive wasn't far till we pulled up to the base of the trail. We could faintly hear the sound of water cascading on the ground at the base of the frozen swell. We strapped on our ice shoes, and of course we did choose, aptly named the Stairway to Heaven. It didn't look so tough. The ice was quite rough, and we figured we'd be home by 11. I stood there in awe at the scenery I saw up above me, well over 600 feet, where in warmer clime water fell with rime, but now was a solid froze sheet. This was going to be fun, the danger we'd shun, ignoring the words that were written on a sign. I was with my gal, and I'd known for a while that everything was going just fine. We'd seen people climbing several times before as we drove up the canyon to make out. On our way back down, we finally stopped to look around and decided we could do it, no doubt. A few weeks passed behind before we made up our minds to go and give it a try. Her mom said, "Be careful, I don't want you to slip. Oh, my stars, you could both fall and die." I was thinking how we laughed when she said those words, almost foretelling what the future might bring. Then I stuck in my pick on that ice wall so slick, and what happened next was the most peculiar thing. For with that one poke, the entire wall broke, and it fell with a sudden downward thrust. It slammed into itself and broke off the entire ice shelf. Then within, it began to bust. The roar could be heard miles away as they echoed off of Provo Canyon's walls. The things that came to mind as we followed behind told me this day wasn't going too well at all. I looked at my gal and she looked at me, and then we were torn from each other's grasp by 10,000 shivers that ran up and down our spines when we realized our lives wouldn't last. But that very short time before an icy death imposed its fine, I pondered on what I should have done. It wouldn't have led to this sudden end. It wouldn't have been any fun, unlike this frigid hell, if I'd just paid attention and perhaps made mention of the sign at the base of the trail. As for my spirit and that of my friend rose out of our icy cold tomb, she said with a sigh and a tear in her eye the words that kept me bound in this gloom. They were words said so softly, and their peace was so costly that I dare not ever forget. Her words hold me here still, and I'll be here until you recover her faint regret. For when that icy cold shelf came down on ourselves, it just shredded our bodies away. Our car was found buried under 40 feet of torn ground. I'm not sure quite what else to say. What became of our bodies that were never recovered, nobody seems to know. I can tell you the search progressed, oh, so very slow. With the spring's warming thaw in the summer sun, the ice dam finally melted away. We were carried downstream, swept as in a dream that nurtured everything along the way. Those droplets of blood, along with God's hand-molded mud that was life, that made life worth living, continued to give of itself in a way that would nurture those things that were living. It so broke my heart as we were torn apart, those words I heard her say. I don't want to be left alone. No, not this is my tomb. Please make sure they find me someday. And that's why I'm still here in the morning mist, where wildflowers grow all around, where grasses are green with the rich, brilliant sheen of the dewdrops that cover the ground. I'm here forever. It's my duty, you see, to bring it to your attention that though she's been driven far, far out to sea or wherever else you care to mention, her remnants have been giving all along the way so unselfishly. They nurture the soil, modify the clay, and enhance nature's scenery. I'm here to tell you because I'm a straight-shooting fella that, like me, we all make our own contribution when back to the soil our bodies go in a fertilizingly rich solution. We'll help to foster what will come to be. Our lives will continue to share. Just set your eyes on nature's raw beauty. Look over here. Look over there. As I impatiently point out what's around all about. Look over here. Look over here. Are you blind? All of these beautiful things that you see are from the giving of those of us who've been left behind. Madam Toastmaster.